Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Fortress Comic News, episode 418. I am one of your hosts, Chris, alongside my co-host, Mike. What's going on, Mike?
Hello. It's happy Easter, everybody. The day we're recording, not the day you're listening. It's also happy second day of WrestleMania. Happy 420.
420, baby!
420.
Hopefully, everybody put out their cookies and milk for Snoop Dogg last night.
For Snoop Dogg.
Or Willie Nelson, whichever form of 420 you decide to.
Today's a lot of things going on. And did you watch any WrestleMania? I'm not a wrestling fan, but I watched WrestleMania last night, the Saturday night one.
Wrestling's one of those things that when I was a kid, I liked.
Yeah.
And like the video games I enjoyed playing.
Yeah, those are fun.
But no, it doesn't. It's nothing that really holds my interest.
I like watching the events as a meme. Like, I don't take this shit seriously at all. Obviously they're athletes, right? I mean, they're big people. Mm-hmm. They get winded. They're throwing each other around. But like, you see some of those people in the crowd. It's huge. There's like 60,000 people in Vegas this year for it, and people it's like their religion, Chris. Like when people lose matches, they're like sitting there like shocked. Like, this is all predetermined.
Yeah, and I get the appeal. Like, we're sitting here on a comic book podcast. Like,
yeah,
I get
right.
the appeal.
Yeah,
I do. But yeah, something about it's like too much.
Yeah,
it's just too much for me.
It's just like a little. I enjoy it up into the point where it's like a meme and a joke, and like, I can't believe these guys are still fighting. 30 minutes into a match.
What was always funny to me when I did watch it was when you watch like the regular show that's on cable, which at the time was Raw and SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
Matches were like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Quick, bam, do a finisher.
There's a lot of shit talking. There's no shit talking anymore.
Yeah, but then you got to WrestleMania and the match would be like 30 minutes to an hour long. And it's just like,
that's
I get it. It's a big event.
But maybe that's what I don't understand. The matches were like an hour long. I wanted more trash talking, but like tonight, John Cena is going to be there, the Peacemaker himself. So
that being said, I do like when the old like promos pop up on my reels.
Yeah, they're hilarious.
Yeah, especially the Macho Man ones. They're so because he's so coked out. It's just so funny.
Macho Man there's nobody like that anymore. Everybody there was like a match between. I'm not a big wrestling fan, and I don't expect anybody to know these names, but like Roman Reigns. There's another guy and CM Punk, but they all have dark, long hair with beards, and I'm like, man, all these guys look alike. Like, they could all be like siblings or cousins or brothers or something. But I was like, where's the flashy costumes? Where's like Goldust? Why doesn't that exist anymore?
Yeah, where's the guy that is a reincarnated?
Yeah,
what was the Undertaker? He was like not reincarnated, but resurrected from the dead.
From the dead, and then he had Kane, his brother, with a red mask. They're just these two giant guys.
And then he just had Stone Cold, who just drank beer. Like that was his
crushing
thing.
Beers.
Yeah.
You got no personality anymore.
Yeah.
My height of watching wrestling when I was younger was Stone Cold and Kurt Angle, the All-American. Where, Stone Cold drove in with a beer truck and was spraying people with beer, and then the All-American Kurt Angle had to come in with his milk truck and start spraying people with milk because he was the gold medalist. He couldn't drink beer. Classic times.
I also thought it was funny. There was recently, like, a bunch of the WWE people were at the White House. This is like months ago now.
Okay.
But like Triple H was there and a bunch of people. And then somebody just like captioned the photo with like 80% of the people in this image have been stone cold stunned, including the president of the United States of America.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, people posted that GIF online. I was like, what the hell? I forgot that was even a thing. Wow, what a time to be alive.
What a crazy world we live in, man.
Yeah, it's all just a big show. We're all just part of a big show. Charlie Stickney is on the show today, returning special guest. So glad that he could stop by. Huge fan of all the things he does in indie comics. He's a monument there. So
this is anyone out there who's a burgeoning comic creator or has thought about jumping in Kickstarter or something, this is the interview to listen to, because that's what I pick his brain about.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about his book, so go back the game. But yeah, also we just talk a lot about what's going on in Kickstarter and creating comics and everything.
He's a great resource for that.
And I wanted to shout out a friend of the show.
Oh, hell yeah.
And I got to pull up the Kickstarter real quick. Because even though he's not on the show right now and we're promoting Charlie, this is something close to both me and Mike, as it's one of the things we bonded over in our burgeoning friendship back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also a former guest of the show, Jason Youngblood.
Yes.
Is back on Kickstarter with Weapon Brown.
Hell yeah.
It's so for those who have already read Weapon Brown, both the volumes of it, it's a reprint of both of them in one giant hardcover. Mm-hmm. So basically think an omnibus of all the Weapon Brown stuff. So I'm tempted, Mike, because I love that.
Yeah, I was looking at it too. I was like in the airport, in the bathroom, bored, so I was browsing Kickstarter. And this is where I discovered that Weapon Brown is back on Kickstarter. Yep.
So I just want to give it a shout out because we both love this book so much. We've talked about a lot over the years, and to see it back, And if I remember correctly, it's not that expensive either.
Yeah, I just
460 page graphic novel signed by the author and artist Jason. $25
for the hardcover.
Come on, that's well. So right now he's doing a soft cover. It's going to be a hardcover if you... Oh, I was reading the thing yesterday. I should look. But it's going to turn to a hardcover for a stretch goal.
Okay.
And that's going to be $50.
Okay, I got you. Okay.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, because that's I would like a hardcover.
Yeah, I don't know if he's going to make the hardcover, but if he does get the stretch goal, it's going to be $50.
Okay. Good stuff.
But yeah.
New
cover. Cool cover.
Yeah, I love that. I kind of want to go back and read that all because that was such a wild ride.
It's such a cool book, and for someone who could care less about Charlie Brown too, like
it is amazing.
It's a great book.
Yeah. All right, let's get into the news, folks. Chris and I are talking about this. Netflix released its first trailer for Sandman Season 2. That's right, folks. Sandman Season 2. It's been 3 years. We just looked it up with a release date of July 3rd. For the first part and July 24th for part 2. Yeah, the trailer looks dope. You get a lot of the characters that you get like the 3 siblings and all this stuff, and you get a lot more of the dream world. They look like they had a bigger budget just in time to axe the show. And I believe that one of the actresses that plays one of the sisters or the siblings is fairly famous. She was a main character in like Bridgerton last season because I've seen her pop up a few times. So she's really popular and has a lot of ties with Netflix, another Netflix show. So yeah, it looks dope. It sucks that it's not coming back after this. I wonder what they're gonna do with the story.
Yeah, I thought it looked cool, and I really enjoyed that first season. But
me too.
The fact that I know it's over after this, kind of ruins any inspiration for me to watch it. If I'm being real, like. I probably will get around to it eventually, but
it's not high on the list.
And no, and obviously we all know why it's being canceled after this. It was already well into production when the whole Neil Gaiman story came out. Mm-hmm. But it's unfortunate that a great book, a much loved comic series like this is finally getting its adaptation, and it was done really well. And it just 3 years in between seasons is unacceptable. I don't care. Sure. It's just unacceptable. And then B, just shorten it down to 2 seasons. You're getting through. If I remember correctly, didn't the first season only get through like the first trade?
Yeah, I think it got to like the point of where they get to the murder convention, but I don't think anything happened at the convention.
Yeah, so maybe that was into the second trade. I can't remember, but
yeah, not very far.
No, so be interested to see if they make any kind of ending, or if they just made it and said, "Here you go, we're done," because we're not dealing with the whole gaming thing anymore.
They moved on. Yeah, I am interested to see where they're gonna stop it. This another
plus July is really busy.
Yeah, we gotta watch Superman.
We got Superman. We got Fantastic Four.
Oh yeah, that new trailer.
I'm sure there's some other show I'm forgetting about right now. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on.
This new news from Disney and Star Wars is we get a new. They announced a new animated show called Star Wars Maul Shadow Lord. This did confirm that Sam Witwer is returning to voice Maul, which is awesome. Darth Maul is such a fun character and really cool. So this is kind of an animated show that I'm pretty pumped for, that I'll probably end up watching. I think that's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, he's done Maul for Clone Wars, Rebels, all this stuff. He even did it for the Solo movie for his 2 lines he had there.
Yep.
I get the feeling this is them taking some of those stories, because if you remember, the Solo movie was supposed to be its own trilogy,
mm-hmm.
and then because of reasons, it got cut short, so it never got a second or third movie.
Yep.
I have a feeling this is them taking those story arcs and the storylines and saying, hey, let's do something with this, because people like Maul, and they like that we are setting something up with this character.
Right.
So let's try an animated series. And it looked like it's going to be done in the Clone Wars style. And among Star Wars fans, we've always just grown to love that style. So
yeah,
it all works. And it's good content for Disney Plus. I'll be there for it. It's I'm excited for this, actually. It's really cool. And from what they said when they showed footage of it, it's him training somebody to be his Padawan. Even though he's not a Sith Lord.
Right.
It's still, he's got a Twi'lek Padawan that he's roaming around with, so
he's just a wannabe. He's a poser Sith Lord.
Yeah, I'm just curious where it's got to be pre A New Hope timeline.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think they said. I didn't read anything that said an exact timeline for it.
Yeah, and then you got Andor season 2 coming out this week or soon.
This week.
Yeah. So I gotta watch the first season.
I warn everybody, it's a slow burn, but I think it's a really great show.
I heard it's really great from everybody. Before we talk about Daredevil, I did watch on my work trip, I watched all of the Bondsman on Amazon Prime, which is the...
Yeah, I've been hearing a lot about this show.
Dude, I think you would really like it. If I had to describe it, it's so they're easy, 20 to 30 minute episodes. Kevin Bacon is hilarious in it. It's a combination of Preacher, Supernatural, and Evil Dead. He's a bondsman, bail bondsman in the middle of nowhere, Georgia. He gets murdered, comes back to life as a bondsman for the devil. These demons appear throughout the town, and he has to go collect them back for the devil. And that's the price he pays to be alive. But he runs this bondsman business with his mother. It's you'll recognize the actress. It's really funny, their interactions, and they're running around the town killing demons, trying to hide it from the cops, and his ex-wife and son. It's really entertaining. I think it's 8 episodes, and it ends on a cliffhanger. Hopefully it gets another season, but it's really enjoyable. It was a fun ride.
Cool. Yeah, like I said, everywhere I've been going, at the comic shop, people were telling me about it.
Yeah,
my girlfriend's father told me about it. Dude,
people know
everybody's
you.
They're this show, man.
Yeah, you need to watch this.
Yeah, and that's after you told me about it last week. I don't know if that's on air or off, but yeah.
Yeah, it was great. I really enjoyed it. And Kevin Bacon he's just really captivating in it, And it's fun to have a original show to watch, that's not part of another property. It's just a simple, but it is they add layers to it. If it's almost like a pyramid scheme of the people, because you have a supervisor and they have a supervisor that they trade souls into, it's pretty great. But yeah, okay. So now Daredevil Born Again, episode 9 that I did watch. I'd say overall pretty good. The fight scene with the Punisher was dope. I couldn't really, I had to turn the brightness up on my TV. I don't know if you did too. I really paused it and turned the brightness up as much as I could, because it was a lot of you can see bodies flying around and Punisher going, "Whoa!" It's that John Bernthal scream that he does. He's like, "Red, red!" So that whole fight scene was cool, and then it kind of just lays the groundwork for season 2. I almost wonder, I almost felt like we could have continued on with this season a little more, but I guess they wanted to kind of split it this way.
Well, remembering that originally it was going to be an 18 episode season.
Okay, yeah, then this, okay.
And then they went and redid a bunch of stuff because it was deemed not good enough what they were doing. So this is kind of the rebuild of that thing. So I guess just to get it out was, hey, let's just do this in 2 seasons. And,
it definitely didn't, even though, after the redone and stuff, it definitely felt like it didn't feel like a single season to end on, really. But I guess, yeah, I forgot they redid a lot of stuff.
I did kind of like how they ended it, though. It had a very Empire Strikes Back feel. Like, Kingpin won.
Yeah.
The city's
Punisher's
down in the
locked
dumps.
up. Yeah.
Yeah, Punisher may not be locked up very... but
yeah.
We'll get to that. The Punisher's locked up. Like, you see the Swordsman's locked up, a bunch of the vigilantes around town. You've got Daredevil on the ropes. Like, he makes the wise decision of, like, he normally would have gone in guns a-blazing and taken on all of those rogue cops on his own. And he made the decision, like, no, go back, regroup, we'll figure this out. Which adds more context to some of the stuff we talked about weeks ago with the black suit, where maybe he goes to the hand for that hand.
Yeah, because at the end of the episode, they show him in the bar with, like, a handful of cops. And I'm like, okay, you're definitely not fighting. You're not fighting with these guys.
Yeah, it was like a couple of cops in the old crew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was like, yeah, all right, you got help now, but you're still not going to beat these guys. You need some more people.
And then Kingpin finally cracks in this episode. Like, he goes full Kingpin.
Yeah, squishing someone's head was a little out of nowhere.
He's done it before.
Yeah, but I don't think they've ever showed it. I don't know if they've ever showed it like Evil Dead practical
I don't
effects.
know if they showed that much. I think it was kind of like you got the impression, like you saw the squeeze, you got the impression, and you saw blood.
Yeah.
I'd have to go back and rewatch to know for sure, but
the full Evil Dead reveal of, like,
I was not ready for that.
That was wild. I was like, oh, his skull just, like, fell apart. It's wonderful.
So
yeah, that was crazy.
Did you catch the post-credit scene then?
Oh, I didn't know there was a post-credit scene. No, I did not.
Yes.
Whoa, fuck.
And it's Frank Castle in the cage, and there's a cop going back and forth between the cages, and he, strikes a conversation with this young gentleman, and reaches his hand out through the hole where he gets his food, and says, like, nice to meet you, man. And the cop is dumb enough to shake Punisher's hand, in which Frank breaks his hand, brings it in, breaks his elbow down.
Oh my god!
And then it cuts away, and I'm like, oh, so Frank's out. Because
they had. There's no way they could have kept him.
Well, there's supposed to be that one shot too.
Oh yeah,
I'm guessing is going to bridge season 1 of Born Again to season 2 of Born Again.
Yep. He got
so that sets that up. Yeah, I thought it was really great. Complaints about the season. There's some. I would like more Daredevil, but I definitely think we set it up where next season's going to be a lot of Daredevil action.
It better pay off. And if it was one season, and like, okay, we get one season. And the second half of the season's all Daredevil, pretty much, that makes sense. So, hopefully we get a lot more of that black suit with ninjas. I'll be happy.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll get undead ninjas.
Undead ninjas.
I'll be shocked if we don't get Elektra at some point next season.
Zombie ninjas. That's all I need. So. Yeah.
I'd say overall, I recommend it, but especially if you like the Netflix Daredevil, I think it's a good continuation of that with its ups and downs.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
Karen Page coming back, so yep, she comes back a little bit.
Yeah, I'm very interested in the foggy of it all.
Yeah, and then like Daredevil kind of ditches his new girlfriend. He's like,
well, his new girlfriend kind of ditches him.
Yeah, she ditches him and is like, what? She's like going to run this new program or something for the mayor.
Yeah, Department of Mental Health for New York City.
Yeah, but for like some ties to vigilantism, right? Probably.
Well, remember she wrote the book about
she's right, and she's writing a new book or something. Yeah,
Psychology of Vigilantes or something. So I get the feeling she won't be the girlfriend in season 2.
No, I feel like she's turning into like a villain. I think killing a vigilante is gonna flip a switch on her or something. They'll make her like a Harley Quinn villain or something.
Or just sympathetic to Wilson Fisk and what he's doing.
Yeah, right.
Which he's already kind of going down that path.
I like how Daredevil took a bullet for Fisk, and Fisk is like, nah, fuck that, I don't care.
Kill him anyways.
He's like, oh, he took a bullet for me? No big deal, whatever, fuck him. I was like, surely this will make him, maybe see different, but no. He's like, fuck that.
That just put him over the edge.
Yep. Movie news. So you went and saw Minecraft. Do you want to talk about that? Because I'd like to hear what you thought, and if you think I would like it.
I want to start there. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you like Jack Black, Mike?
I love Jack Black.
Then you will like this movie.
Okay, then I'll end up watching it.
I've never played a single frame of Minecraft. I have no connection to these characters.
I don't think I have either.
I've lived in the world, so I know of Minecraft, and I've watched videos, and
I know
my nephews played it. Yeah, but honestly, at the end of the day, this movie is Jason Momoa and Jack Black having a shit ton of fun, and Jack Black cranking up the Jack Blackness to 11.
Hell yeah!
So if you like his style of comedy and you like him in movies, you'll enjoy this movie, because that's really, at the end of the day, what it is. I just enjoyed seeing Jack Black. The story is it's funny because I've seen some comparisons, Mike, to the story, and when you watch it, I almost wonder if I'll send it to you before or after you watch the movie, but it's being compared to Lord of the Rings in terms of how the story beats go. And
that's amazing.
I saw this video before I watched the movie, and then as I'm watching it, I couldn't stop thinking about it.
Yeah.
And it is true, because there's that artifact. There's the kid who's a part of the group that has to hold the artifact because he's only can be trusted with it. They have to bring it to this place where they're going to destroy it.
Oh, yeah. Man.
And they even refer to him as a Frodo-esque character, as a line of dialogue in the movie.
That's amazing.
So there's great gags. I think if you've just been alive in the past, however long Minecraft's been around, 20 years, maybe, you'll get most of the references. There's a few that went over my head that were explained to me by the young children that joined us in this movie
you didn't throw popcorn around the theater, right?
No, because I have respect for people.
Yes, good. I did see, I'll talk about the movie I saw after you finish up, but I did see the security guards at my theater. Yeah,
there's multiple great songs, but we've all seen Steve's Lava Chicken song going around. Yeah, that's phenomenal. Yeah, I recommend this movie. I think it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Okay, but just straight dumb comedic fun. Jason Momoa was fantastic too, by the way.
Yeah.
Good. He plays he plays a guy that won the video game world champions back in the 80s and is just still holding on to the glory days. But is obviously, it's however many years later, 30 years later, so he's older, and they make him look a little out of shape, but he's still Jason Momoa. So
he's still 8 foot tall, and
but they try to give him a little bit of a gut and everything. And he's dressed like the 80s, like an 80s rock star, and
that's funny.
Yeah, it's a good movie. It's fun.
Katie and I have been huge fans of all the latest Jason Statham movies he puts out every year. So we decided to go see A Workin' Man. I don't know if you saw Beekeeper, but we really enjoyed Beekeeper as a cheesy action level with a bunch of bee puns, and so we went into this movie, and I didn't know he's just a construction worker. He's ex-military. It's like Taken. This girl gets taken. He's got to, and then it's the Russian mobs behind it, of course. So he's got to kill every tier of the Russian mob. But it gets treated like John Wick to the point where he kills a bunch of the leaders in the mob, and the mob has this inner circle, and they're basically just leave him alone. We don't need any more people to die, and that's how the movie ends. But the movie was written by David Ayer, who did the first Suicide Squad, for those people that don't remember. And
also, it's obviously the worst movie ever. Okay.
And Sylvester Stallone, they both wrote the script together, so you can imagine how awful the fucking dialogue this movie is.
Yeah, because Sylvester Stallone expects half of it to be mumbled.
Yeah. Every time Jason Statham answers the phone, he's just yep. And that's it. There's so many, they try to really push the whole, he was a Marine and stuff, so, he's, killing villains that also used to be Marines, and he's, stabbing a guy in the heart, and he's this is your fight, brother. He's yeah, finish it, brother. They're but he's, killing the dude, and I was what is, this is how people talk when you're murdering somebody? But it was awesome. There's some crazy Russian villains that are almost comic booky, kind of like John Wick. So a lot of the fight scenes are really good. It was entertaining. It was a fun popcorn movie, and I think it's available to rent right now. So it was a good time. More movie news. During Star Wars Celebration Japan, Disney announced the next Star Wars movie they're working on for the release after The Mandalorian and Grogu. It'll be called Star Wars Starfighter. The film would be directed by Sean Levy, with Ryan Gosling starring in the lead role. Holy shit, this is it. They're eyeing a release date of May 28th, 2027, Chris. So how do you get people back into Star Wars movies? You bring Ken in.
Yeah, you bring the sexiest man alive in.
Yeah. Who, I mean, honestly, I think he'll kill it I think he'll be a great Star Wars pilot. I know that.
He's a great actor, like all joking aside.
Yeah.
So this is going to be taking place after Rise of Skywalker too, from what I've heard. So
okay,
interesting.
Hopefully, like 1,000 years after, maybe.
No,
like 1 year later. It's like, God damn it.
I think Disney is like eyeing that as their next like era to jump in, because they're still trying to get episode 10 up and running. If anyone remembers, that's still in the background,
man.
Yeah, even with the guy who played Finn just losing his goddamn mind on the internet.
Yeah.
Thinking that everybody's out to get him.
Right.
But yeah, that seems to be their era. Like, it's the Mandalorian stuff and then this. So it's interesting that they chose this to be the next thing in line. Yeah, I'm down for it. I think it'd be fun. I personally like Ryan Gosling. I think he's great in everything I've seen him in. Even the stuff I don't necessarily like, I think he's great in it. It's interesting too that they got Sean Levy, who had quite the career. Last movie he did was Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah, so what I think is happening here, I mean, this seems like a one-shot movie, right? They know they've had success with Rogue One in the past, or did they say it's a new trilogy?
They've said it's a one-shot, but
okay, yeah.
But
I mean, yeah.
If it's successful, I don't put it past anybody.
Somebody like Ryan Gosling, unless they want to pay him $1 bajillion a movie, I don't think he's signing on for a bunch of these movies, right? Like, at least I wouldn't think he would do that, but maybe. I mean, maybe he just becomes a Star Wars icon. Yeah.
Has he done any franchise stuff? I mean, he's done like sequels. Obviously, the Blade Runner,
Blade Runner, Barbie. He's done that musical. It's really good. I can't think of.
Yeah, he doesn't have any sequels in his IMDb.
Yeah, that's
he forgot he's in Remember the Titans.
Oh yeah, he does so much diverse stuff that you're just like, yeah, I don't see them locking him down, you know. So I guess we'll see.
He's not a like doing stuff all the time kind of actor. Like, he has spurts where stuff comes out. Like 2013, he had a couple. 2016, he had a couple. But you'll get a year or two in between some of these movies.
I almost wonder, like, if this is just a movie about a day in the life of a starfighter, and like the end of the movie he dies, that would be dope. Like, I don't know. Like, just to see what it's like for a starfighter that's not like a chosen one, like Poe Dameron, you know, that gets in the middle of everything. But
yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's a weird time frame for it to take place in. There's a lot of questions there, but I think just having those two names attached gives me some faith that it could be good.
Maybe it's gonna be like Top Gun in space. That's what I think it's gonna be.
I'd be down with that. I mean,
that would be cool. I'd be down for Top Gun in space.
And if people remember, they've been trying to get something like this off the ground for a while, because they had the woman who did the Wonder Woman movies.
Yes.
Doing a Rogue Squadron movie, which I'm saying is done.
Yeah.
I've heard it's still alive. I've heard it's dead. It's got to be done by now.
Yeah, there's no way it's still around.
But yeah. We got that. We got the Mandalorian Grogu to look forward to. And we've got lots of... Mike has a cat this time.
Yeah, my cat won't leave me alone, so she's going to be on screen for a little bit. She hasn't seen me all night, so...
So we have those two movies going around and a lot of TV shows. There's a lot of good Star Wars coming out.
Yeah, I mean, this is cool that we have really a firm timeline of like when we could see Star Wars kick off again, which is cool.
Yeah.
Not having that felt weird for a while.
I do think it's funny that the man behind the hit trilogy Night at the Museum is helming a Star Wars movie.
Is that the guy? Wait, so the guy who did Deadpool and Wolverine did the Night at the Museum movies?
Yeah. I don't know if he's the director. Let me see.
Okay. Well, at least he worked on him. Man, those Night at the Museum movies
him as a producer.
Are good too,
let's see about director. Stupid IMDb. I don't want the producer credits. I want the director credits. There we go. Yes, he directed Deadpool and Wolverine. He directed a couple episodes of Stranger Things as well. Look at that.
Oh, nice.
Oh, Real Steel.
Night
at the Museum and Night at the Museum, Battle at the Smithsonian. And Night at the Museum, Secret of the Tomb. Yes, he's the director of those movies.
Nice. That's a real steal. Dude. I've just had like flashbacks.
This man has worked. He directed 3 episodes of Animorphs. Do you remember that?
That's where it all began. Of course I remember Animorphs. Hell yeah.
No, so it's cool.
He's purely equipped to do a Star Wars Starfighter movie.
Yeah, what's he got upcoming? He's directing episodes of the Dungeons & Dragons show.
Oh yeah, I forgot that's a thing too.
He's something called Boy Band. Is that the Starman he's directing? An alien goes to Earth to take on the body of a widow's husband. It's not the Starman.
No, okay. It's not the Starman. It's some other Star.
DC and he's Comics on for Stranger Things season 5, Mike, like we talked about pre the show.
Hell yeah.
So yeah. He's all over the place.
Starman fans are gonna be really confused in that movie.
I'm gonna be really confused. I'm gonna be like,
hold on, Starman, DC Comics fans, and also David Bowie fans are also very confused. Why this movie isn't about either of those things. All right, we got an epic Fantastic Four trailer this week. It had quite a few reveals in it. Silver Surfer's here. That's a different Silver Surfer than I know. What Silver Surfer is this one, Chris?
I don't know if this is a comic Silver Surfer or not. I remember talking about it at the time when they cast a woman for the role.
Yeah.
At least me discussing like, there better be a story behind this. It's going to feel.
I thought this was an ultimate. I thought this was an ultimate Silver Surfer or something like that. But
it's been a while.
I thought you would have known, but I mean, putting that in the trailer was a pretty big deal, I guess.
That's him passing the powers down. So Shia LaBeouf has been the Silver Surfer in the Earth X storyline.
Okay.
I can't remember last time I read Earth X.
Yeah.
Probably when it came out, so that's probably what that's passing me by.
So it is a comic reference to a character.
It looks, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's the first thing.
Earth X is like Marvel's Kingdom Come.
Okay. Interesting.
Like, it's the far future, Captain America's an old man, and so it's a legacy for NORAD.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, so what did you think of the trailer? I thought that was a pretty big reveal to spoil, but I guess if it's going to be a big part of the movie, like, or the main part of the movie, they kind of had to show it, right?
Silver Surfer?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was, just like any casting, but especially when you do a casting like that, where you, quote unquote, change the sex or race of a character, it becomes talk online. Well, so it's not like that's unknown, but yeah, I felt like you had to show it in some way.
I just mean like coming in and being like, yeah, Galactus is showing up this movie, so be ready.
I feel like people were expecting Silver Surfer. Maybe the casual fan wasn't expecting that Silver Surfer, but
I mean, I wasn't No, I'm just talking about like our first Fantastic Four movie. They're fighting Galactus. Like at least from the trailer, that's what it's focused on, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, that's what I was expecting, was it to be that issue of Fantastic Four where Galactus comes and they get the ultimate nullifier and he goes away. Although I have a lot of questions about this, where this ends up. Like, I kind of think it'd be cool if Galactus won.
Yeah, that's what I think is going to happen. Like, he destroys their universe or Earth, right?
Yeah, and then
get forced into the MCU somehow.
Well, and then Doom gets them and brings them to Battleworld for Secret Wars. I think that'd be a cool way to do this movie.
That'd be
whether they do that or not, we'll see. This trailer leans heavily into the time period, so you really get the feel that it's the 60s.
Yep, that's pretty cool.
And we get to see everybody's powers. So seeing Pedro Pascal getting all stretchy was a lot of fun. And we also got the reveal that the Invisible Woman's pregnant in this. So
yeah, that was kind of interesting too. Like, oh, they're starting a family, so there's like a lot of stakes already. And they've already been established as heroes in this universe.
Well, and for people of our generation, the people who are going to see these movies, the Future Foundation and the whole Fantastic Four as a family, and yes, they've always been a family, but I'm talking about like a real deal. They have kids and everything.
Right,
family,
yeah, the kids
is part of what those characters are, so it makes sense to bring that in as a part of the story, at least for me. I wasn't sure if they would or not, but pretty obvious in this that they are. And that was a funny scene that they showed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just ready. I'm ready for this and Superman to come out. I don't want more trailers. I just want to get these
no more trailers.
movies.
I just want to watch the dang movies. I know.
But that was a cool trailer, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty excited for it. Comics. I was going to say Marvel news. Comic news. Marvel announced that during Star Wars Celebration Japan, the final comic for the High Republic Phase 3 will be a one-shot. It's called Star Wars The High Republic, The Finale, The Beacon, #1. Written by Kevin Scott with art by Marika Cresta. The end of the beginning, the final battle between the Jedi and the Nihil has been fought, sacrifices have been made, and the dust settles as friends and allies gather for one last celebration. A decision is made, fate is sealed, guest starring faces from across best-selling multimedia initiative. All roads lead to Dalna. So all your favorite Star Wars characters are showing up.
I don't know.
Yeah.
If you haven't been reading High Republic, don't start here.
Yeah.
I'm curious if this is the end of the High Republic as an initiative. If they had this 3-arc story through comics, books, all this going on, and now they're done, or if Phase 4 is coming down the line. But I've been enjoying it. I would kind of like if they ended it at Phase 3 and said, "Hey, we've told our story. Let's move on to the next thing." Mm-hmm. Because how rare is it that we move on to the next thing?
Hardly ever.
Yeah.
Like, we could just make more comics here and then move on, and more comics there at the same time.
Well, it's not like Star Wars dies. I mean,
yeah.
Now you go and do the Old Republic. Now you go and do Knights of the Republic, or figure something else out. Like, or this could spin into the Republic we know pre-Episode 1. Like, there's so many things you could do. We don't have to keep going on with this, as much as I have enjoyed what I've read of this.
Mm-hmm. Here we go. DC announced that as part of the Summer of Superman, they're printing a Treasury-sized comic called Superman Treasury 2025 Hero for All this July. The comic will feature a new story from comic creators Dan Jurgens and Bruno Redondo, and will also feature a reprint of the Superman Fantastic Four crossover from 1999. What? That's weird? Amazing. Well, yeah, it must be like to celebrate Fantastic Four coming out the same month. Like, this sounds like fun. I mean, we're getting a new story from Dan Jurgens, which is awesome. I'll probably be checking this out.
I will definitely be checking this out. That crossover also written by Dan Jurgens, by the way.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, July, not only is Fantastic Four coming out, so is the Superman movie coming out. It makes sense.
Yeah, right.
It's a weird place to reprint it, though, is my thing.
Yeah.
It seems like there's been a ton of legalese behind the scenes being done with these crossovers, because we got the big omnibus on the buys.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe this is in either of them, although I haven't really skimmed them with a fine-tooth comb quite yet.
I don't know if are they trying to grab Fantastic Four fans with this book? Like you said, besides celebrating, if it really is a celebration of like having both the movies in the same month, it's not never have these businesses ever worked together like that. So, yeah.
Yeah, and it makes me wonder what Marvel got, because the 2 omnibus got printed by each separate company, and that's how they made their money off those. This being printed by DC, obviously. So what's Marvel got that hasn't been reprinted? And then what's happening with the infamous JLA Avengers crossover from the 2000s? There's still a lot of questions I have about what's happening behind the scenes here, but I like where we're going. And I like that because of this, there's more and more rumors of maybe doing another crossover, like a new crossover.
Mm-hmm. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I think this is cool. I'll be picking it up, but it does raise a lot more questions on my side of what's going on behind the scenes here.
Yeah. During an interview on Comic Book Couples Counseling Podcast, Grant Morrison teased that he is returning to DC Comics for a new Batman series. When talking about the possibility of returning to Superman, he said, "I never say never, have no ideas right now, but I just actually took on a job that I wasn't expecting because I don't need to do these things anymore, and I only do them for something interesting. It's not Superman, but it's a Batman thing. I never think I'd go back to someone who comes to me with something good, and it strikes a spark, and it starts a fire, and then, of course, I'll do it. I'm not writing it off. I love Superman, but I don't have anything to say right now using Superman. I'm waiting to see the movie. I think the movie is where Superman energy is right now, and I'm looking forward to that." Yeah, so Grant Morrison saying some down-to-earth stuff. Coming back for Batman, I've always enjoyed all the stuff he does with Batman, so I'm really looking forward to that. Maybe
I'll be interested to see what it is.
Maybe it's a Zur-En-Arr story, because we, he said, "Oh, nothing sparked anything," and maybe he saw that Zur&R story and was like, "Oh shit, this is dope. Let me do more Zur&R stuff. I would love that."
In my heart says I want it to be like another something that ties into his run, maybe more incorporated, maybe Batman and Robin, something like that. But my gut tells me that it's a Black Label Batman story.
Yeah, which is cool.
Yeah, he had something, and he's like, I think this would be cool, and they said we can do that out of continuity, which I'm down with. Like, cool. Yeah. I've been questioning. There's been 2 creators that have been missing from our lives these past 2 years or so.
Yep.
And one's Grant Morrison, one's Donny Cates, and I've been questioning where they both are. I know Grant's been like behind the scenes because he's made all his money and doesn't need to do shit anymore.
Like he says in this, I don't need to do things. Yeah.
So now we know where he is, and he's just sitting around waiting for somebody to come with him with a good idea. Maybe he'll show up. If not, he's just gonna sit back, relax, and do his thing. So
yeah,
I'll be interested when the actual announcement comes. But till then, I'm excited to speculate like hell with everybody else, and to see who he teams up with for it.
Yeah, who does he get for art? If he gets like, what's his name from Batman Inc., then
Yeah, and because that everybody's like at DC is running for that job. Like, I would love it. Yeah, him having a past collaborator is probably what's going to happen. I would love to see, particularly just because I love everything he's doing right now,
Dan Mora
take it. Like,
and,
give him the best of the best at DC.
I mean, if Dan Mora does it, we could get a great multiverse story, because he did that recently with the Batman Superman stuff.
Yeah,
I don't know. Give me a Grant Morrison multiverse story is what I'm here for all the time. So.
Yeah, there's so much I would like to see from Grant Morrison, but I know whatever he's got cooking will be on my poll list. I can only think of like a few things that I won't say out loud that would maybe be like, I don't know about that.
Yeah, right.
But just seeing his name on a comic is 99% enough for me to pick it up.
Hell yeah. Image Comics announced a new series titled The Voice Said Kill. The series will be written by Cy Spurrier, art by Vanessa Del Rey. In The Voice Said Kill, alligator poachers prowl the mudbug mire. A park ranger, heavily pregnant, raises a hateful mug of moonshine with a criminal matriarch and one deadly son of a bitch, out of his mind on shrooms and retribution. Loads his rifle for the human hunt and screams down the stars. Looks like an interesting book. Fargo meets Deliverance in the Louisiana Bayou is what they say. A spicy Cajun crime miniseries. So not something I would probably check out, but art looks dope. Sounds kind of cool.
Yeah, not something I'll check out. I'm going to go on the other side of you. I'm not a fan of the art. It looks muddied, and I think at times, as I'm looking through the preview pages, I can't tell what's going on at times. But
yeah, I'm looking at like the jungle stuff. Like, I like that. But yeah, you're right. Like the stuff with people walking around and stuff is kind of jarring.
Yeah, so
it is an interesting take,
but not my thing.
No.
But yeah, Cy Spurrier, good to see him out there doing stuff. Yep. I know he's people are enjoying Flash right now, so go out and make some money.
Jerry Dugan's got a project going on. I opened up the thing and I saw who did the cover. Image Comics, a new series titled "This Ends Tonight" from writers Jerry Dugan, Calvin Mao, and Robert Wyndham, with art by Jai Lee and June Chung. Debut comic of a 3-issue miniseries, "This Ends Tonight" will kick off with some sweet sister bonding time, as the starring pair fight assassins hunting them over a shocking family secret. Thelma and Louise-like duo battle side by side, barreling through Quentin Tarantino-esque action scenes. Wow, survive the bloodbath. The following 2 interconnected issues take place the same night in Las Vegas, all centered around gory revenge. Sounds cool. Sounds like something I would be interested in, but I hate that art so much. I mean, those panels they show, like, this is just what I don't like about Jai Lee. I'm sorry, people, if you're big Jai Lee fans. I just don't.
It brings me so much joy how much you hate Jai Lee.
I don't know. Especially for an action book. I just don't get it.
The co-writers of this book were the ones that did that Seven Sons book with Jai Lee that I actually really liked.
Mm.
Not going to sell you on it because I know.
I can't do it.
But that makes me interested in it, and it's kind of cool that it's a 3-issue miniseries, so not a whole lot to like invest in, a quick action story, and I don't have the negative feelings about Jiley's art that you do. I kind of enjoy it. I just think it has its time and place more than anything.
Not in this book.
And
or any book. No, I mean, I get it.
I'm with you on the superhero stuff. I am 100% with you.
He's an accomplished artist. He deserves all the work and praise that he gets.
Yeah.
I
can't do him on when he did Batman Superman. I'm with you. I don't want Jiley on that kind of book, but I liked him on Seven Sons. I like him on some of the indie stuff. This looks cool. I think the 2-page spread they show is a really cool action sequence. I might be down to check this out, especially being 3 issues. And I like I said, I like that Seven Sons book. So you've got Jerry Duggan, you've got other it does concern me a little bit. There's 3 writers involved, but you've got the co-writers of another book I really like. Oh yeah, I'll probably be picking this one up.
Let me know how it is.
I will not try to sell you on it because I just know it could be the best book ever. I just know.
Yeah, I mean, I did read the Batman Superman. Got through the Jiley art. I did do that with Greg Pak writing. Mad Cave Studios announced they're printing the Comixology original series Beneath from writers Stephen S. D. Knight with art by Michael Gatos, which is interesting because it was Dark Horse doing that previously.
Mm-hmm.
Deputy Sheriff Jess Delgado is tasked with transporting the sole survivor of a mysterious attack along the Texas-Mexico border to Corseville, a for-profit immigration detention center, closing down due to widespread protests, housing only a handful remaining detainees and manned by a skeleton crew of disgruntled guards. The detention center becomes a desperate battleground when something otherworldly emerges from deep below the earth, something that only fears the light. Deputy Delgado must pull together the guards and detainees, 2 groups that hate and fear each other, survive the night, or fall to the vengeance of the things that live beneath. Sounds pretty dope. Sounds like that movie where they hold up in the prison together to fight. I don't know if they're fighting. I think the movie's about like someone's being abducted in the prison and they're like fighting back, or in the police barracks.
Yeah.
But yeah, this looks pretty cool. Like the black and white art with the red. Doesn't really reveal what they're fighting in any of the pages, but looks pretty dope. Mad Cave getting the Comixology books is interesting again, but yeah.
At least they're getting this one. I mean, there's Dark Horse is still getting the Scott Snyder ones, although I don't know how many are left of that. I think those books are allowed to go wherever they want when they're done.
Oh, okay.
I don't think it's an overall, like, you have to go with Dark Horse.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, Dark Horse signed the deal with Scott Snyder, and he was the biggest name coming out of that, and I think Kurt Pyers followed along. Maybe there was a deal for a little bit. I can't remember. It's been forever. But yeah, it is interesting that Mad Cave got it. And interesting... I'm interested in what's to be gained from these 2. Like, presumably, Comixology made their money off of it, got their thing off of it. How many of those people are... It must be working because they keep doing it, but I'm wondering how many people are actually buying these trades when they're all said and done.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess we'll see. Especially if it's just like it's an unlimited book too.
Yeah.
Or comes out. Yeah.
Then I'll say when it was coming out week to week in issues on Comixology Unlimited, and I was getting those emails, I wasn't interested. So
yeah, I didn't read it then either.
I'm probably not going to pick this one up either.
With that, talk about what we read this week. For me, Chris, it was a big fat 0 books.
Oh.
Yeah, my work travel's been quite a bit this next couple weeks. So
well then, let me spoil some of your favorite books for you.
Hell yeah. Perfect.
So I put these on top because I thought you would have read them this week, but I was wrong, Mike. So let's start with a few older ones. Geiger, number 11. I'm sorry, number 13. From a few weeks ago. I can't remember if you read this or not.
Yeah, I did. Yep.
But yeah, good issue. Obviously, there's a big turn at the end. And we're going to get the Geiger versus She Geiger, whatever we're calling her.
She Geiger.
Fight in the next issue. So I'm really enjoying that book. Thunderbolt's Doomstrike, number 2, is part of the One World Under Doom story arc. Bucky goes and gets the U.S. agent to join along on the team. They find this little center of people who are resisting Doom and living in a free society in Texas. And who else is helming it other than Sharon Carter, who was on the previous Thunderbolts team? So they end up getting her to come along. And then as an added extra bonus, they end up getting the Ghost Rider from World War II that's in that Hellhunters book to join them as well. So they've got their little team. They're going to do an old-fashioned, Old West attack on a train. And when they do it, they find the train is full of vibranium. So now they have all these questions about what's going on there. And their old leader has sided with Doom and ends up stopping them from actually taking out all the vibranium. So very interesting issue. I'm enjoying what they're doing with it. And another good comic from the Hive Mind. Batman Dark Patterns, number 5. So Ventriloquist, we found out Ventriloquist is like inhabiting this apartment complex. So as Batman's going up, he's trying to figure out where the brain of Ventriloquist is, which is where the guy who controls Scarface is. And as he's going up, he realizes that Scarface has gathered some sort of new ability to pseudo brainwash people along the way. And you get to see that with how some of the people in the apartment complex are acting towards Batman, towards the police and other things. So interesting, like psychological drama there. And then we get Batman in the ending kind of confronting Scarface and his controller. So we will probably get a conclusion to that in the next issue. But really love that book. Redcoat, number 11.
Hell yeah.
The Northerner is here, Mike.
About time. Nice.
This takes place during Civil War. So I'll warn people out there. It doesn't get too graphic, but there are a part of the story takes place in the South, and you're definitely in a factory where they do not treat their slaves very well. Outside of that, it's a really cool story arc where Simon is just neutral to everything. He's a scumbag. He'll work for the South and help them out. He'll work for the North and help them out. He doesn't care. He only cares about getting money. And during all this, when we see that factory with all the slaves in it, one of the slaves ends up getting a package that one of the Southern Confederate soldiers has that's supposed to like help the South win the war. And she runs off with it. And she runs into the Northerner, who it looks like some sort of time traveler because he's dressed up like a Civil War a fighter, but he pulls out like 2 gats and just like takes guys out.
That's awesome.
And then at the end, you see him with an Uzi. So he definitely has some time travel elements to him. And he's after Simon Pure because for something about Simon and his actions during the Civil War can affect like everything that happens with the war. So they confront each other at the end, and he's like, I need you to help me out or else this entire country is doomed and you're doomed with it. So really cool issue. Godzilla versus Hulk.
Hell yeah.
Thunderbolt Ross is out there taking out kaiju left and right, Mike, and he's got a super villain with him to help him with it.
Oh yeah.
Who he thinks is exterminating all the kaiju that he captures. But we find out later he's not. And Bruce Banner's a part of that too, but he's kind of working behind the scenes to undermine what's going on. They end up building 2 Mecha Godzillas, and they lure Godzilla into Texas to fight him with their Mecha Godzillas. A lot of Texas in this episode. And it's Banner and Thunderbolt Ross and the Mecha Godzillas. They end up losing the fight. And as the one that Banner's controlling is about to be destroyed, he turns on the Hulk and fights him. But realizes that what Thunderbolt Ross is doing and the supervillain that he's hired are doing is going to destroy the world. And we find out that he's been taking the DNA from all the different kaiju they've been killing, including like some Marvel ones like Fing Fang Foom.
Yep.
And creating the ultimate weapon, which is this giant Venom-esque glob kaiju who almost kills Godzilla until Hulk realizes he can take 2 power lines and defibrillate him back to life.
Hell yeah.
And then cuts open his arm and bleeds into like his mouth. So now we have gamma radiated Godzilla.
Gamma radiated Godzilla? Of course we do. Why not? It makes sense.
So, typical story.
Yep.
Good guys fight each other. At the end, they team up to take on a bigger bad guy. But it's fucking awesome along the way because it's Godzilla.
Sounds amazing.
So, yeah, I'm really loving these Godzilla crossovers. Ultimate Wolverine number 4. So, last issue, they had like the Resistance Squad, and that was Remy and Shadow. Oh, no. God damn it. Kitty Pryde. And they knew Logan from previous life, so they were able to trigger something in his brain. So now Logan's kind of going haywire, and everybody at the Winter Soldier program are trying to fix him. And basically, the long story short is they find out how to fix him is using Cerebro that's in the Kremlin in Russia in this world. And at the heart of Cerebro is the Phoenix. So that's kind of where we left it. Like, he's going to be rejiggered with the Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a really cool issue. Another One World Under Doom crossover, Superior Avengers #1.
Oh, okay.
So Doom's kid is creating a time machine that's going to bring people from the future where Doom's rule has saved the world and bring them back to use as propaganda.
Okay.
That's his whole scheme he's going on here. But when he brings people back, they bring Amadeus Cho back, and he's like, "No, you ruin everything," and like tries to attack him.
That's funny.
So what they end up using the machine for is going to a parallel universe to get people to do the same thing. Mm-hmm. And then they're going to use them to be Doom's Avengers, Doom's Superior Avengers.
Nice.
And that's this weird Captain America / Doom character. We're not quite sure who it is. The Black Panther is Killmonger. We've got Onslaught, Ghost, a bunch of other ones.
Mm-hmm.
And we find out basically that these villains in that universe, Doom isn't successful. They end up killing Doom and just destroying the world with it. And they came over here to do the same thing.
Mm.
So they basically lied to Doom, saying like, "Oh yeah, you're great in our universe and we'll do everything you want." But they're really undermining him the whole time. So it was a cool twist to the story. Plus, a Nihilist shows up. So I'm always down for more Nihilist. So it's been a fun crossover so far. And then I'll end it with the greatest book ever written, which is DC Cross Sonic the Hedgehog #2.
Hell yeah. The greatest book ever made.
It goes exactly as you think it does.
Mm-hmm.
There's a quick fight with Darkseid. He kind of wins and escapes. So he sends all of his people, Steppenwolf and all of them, to go fight the Justice League and Sonic's crew. They end up losing, but along the way, get some more of the Chaos Emeralds. And now Darkseid has all of them. So the Justice League and Sonic's crew go and try to fight Darkseid on his little like floating planet that he has.
Mm-hmm.
And end up losing, but the Justice League is able to save the Sonic the Hedgehog crew and send them to their Earth before Darkseid just destroys the Sonic the Hedgehog universe.
Mm-hmm.
So now we've got Sonic and Shadow and Knuckles and all those characters over in DC proper, and they end up meeting Mr. Fantastic at the end and having to like inform them like the Justice League is gone along with our universe. I am interested to see what characters they bring in the next issue. And obviously, at some point, we're going to get all of them back. But
right,
it was just fun, pure unadulterated fun the entire way.
That's awesome.
And you got all the team ups you wanted. You got Batman, Shadow fighting. You got honestly Sonic and Flash fighting, and so on, so on. So
that's amazing.
Yeah, it's a fun book. But Mike, that was everything I read this week. So where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me at Fortress Ricker on X/Twitter. Where can they find you and or the show?
You can find me on X or pretty much any social media network at Fortress Chris, also at chriscomicscorner.substack.com. And you can find the show at Fortress Pod on X, Blue Sky, all those social medias. Also at fortresscomicnews.com. If you want to support the show, 5-star reviews on the podcatchers, like, subscribe, share, comment down below on the YouTube, and then go over to patreon.com/fortresscomics for more. Thank you all so much for watching and or listening here this week. We'll see you all next week.